Oscar's gaze traveled up the garment, and he stared at the engine oil on the left pocket, evidence that had convinced federal agents that a local mechanic was the killer. Oscar scraped off some of the dark, sticky goo, spread it carefully on a glass slide, and placed it underneath his microscope. He adjusted the oculars and rotated the magnification dial. It wasn't grease, he was sure, because he hadn't spotted any of its standard components: mineral oil, vegetable oil, lime, or emulsified soap. He dripped a reagent on the slide and watched the chemical reaction. The goo was a purely organic substance. With his pencil, Oscar made the most important note of the case: a scribble on the back of an old envelope that would save the mechanic's life. Pitch, not oil, on left pocket. The grease on the overalls came from a tree, not a vehicle. And soon Oscar would determine that the pitch actually came from a Douglas fir, a tree found in western Oregon, the same type of naturally occurring sticky resin used to caulk the seams of wooden sailing ships for centuries. Oscar turned out the pockets of the overalls carefully as little chips caught in the fabric reflected the light of his small flashlight. No larger than the size of half a pea, he wrote. The pockets carried tiny chips, earth debris and botanical debris peculiar to the western Washington and western Oregon forests. The suspect lived in the western part of Oregon, he concluded. Oscar used a small electric suction device, like a mini vacuum cleaner, to collect any other trace evidence. He could later sort through the material and catalog it. Also, inside the pockets were small, hard white chips, fingernail clippings. The man trimmed his nails, a strange habit for a lumberjack. A man who carries a fingernail file, he told agents, is usually fastidious not only as far as his nails are concerned, but about his general appearance. Oscar understood human nature. A man's habits reflected his personality. This suspect took pride in his appearance, the criminalist was certain. Overalls typically included a number of pockets for storage of various workman tools, including a pencil. So Oscar knew he would need to search each one. He adjusted his glasses. Now we're skipping to where the federal agents are coming in looking for answers. James O'Connell and a federal agent with the U.S. Postal Service traveled to Berkeley to get the results from Oscar's findings. A lumberjack, said Oscar. The wearer and owner was a lumberjack employed in a fir or spruce logging camp. A white man not over 5 foot 10 inches tall, probably shorter. Weight not over 165 pounds, probably less. Not so fast, Professor, said the postal agent. Do you mean to say that you found all of this merely from examining those overalls? Oscar explained that he could estimate the weight of the owner because lumberjacks frequently bought their overalls in a larger size, so they had room to shrink in the wash. These overalls appeared to be new. Hence, the owner is undersized rather than an average-sized man, he concluded. The special shoes that his assistant retrieved earlier were logging shoes, and when he placed them underneath the overall's cuffs, they were the perfect length for a logger hoping to keep his clothes from being ruined while climbing trees. Lumbermen always wear their pants legs turned in the deep cuff about halfway between the ankle and the calf outside the boot. The suspect was Caucasian, according to the charts Oscar used to classify 2 strands of hair that he found. He had created a physical sketch of a killer, an incredibly accurate profile based on a single pair of overalls. Oscar's description tallied perfectly with Ray de Outremont, a brown-haired lumberjack with a slight build and height, a fastidious man who worked in western Oregon on spruce and fir trees. Deputies released the mechanic from jail, and now special agents focused their search on a lumberjack from Oregon.